These are the goats who challenge Newton's grave. All just for a lick of salt, they climb nearly vertical dams with their bare hooves. One wrong step and it's a fall to certain death. Yet they walk on the steep walls like they were flat ground, in high heels, no less. In the Italian Alps, there's a dam that stands 225 meters tall. Its nearly vertical stone face is covered with mineral salts that are essential for the goat's survival. A young ibex faces the dam for the first time in his life. Unaware of the danger, he happily follows his mother, relying on her completely, until he looks down and realizes that beneath him is a bottomless abyss. Terrified, he trembles and freezes, unable to take another step, instinctively looking to his mother for help. The mother looks back with eyes full of encouragement. Under her gaze, the kid slowly musters courage and begins to move, hesitantly, step by step. But the higher he climbs, the more intense his fear becomes. His strength also begins to fade after the long ascent. The mother ibex notices and uses her body as a shield, giving her child a chance to rest, a small safe harbor on the cliff face. While resting, the kid also begins to get used to the height. After a while, he stands up to face the unfinished challenge once more. This time, he's much more composed. He begins to skillfully use his hooves, wedging them into tiny cracks in the cliff. The soft, sensitive pads on the bottoms of his hooves provide extra grip and stability. He realizes he was born with perfect balance, and that maybe the dam isn't as terrifying as it first seemed. Finally, through his own efforts, he reaches the destination, and tastes the first salt of his life. This was the reason his mother brought him here. The salt water seeping from the cliff face is vital to their health, especially for young ibexes in their early stages of growth. Only the dam offers this resource, so climbing it is a survival skill they must learn. And this little one didn't let his mother down. He passed nature's harsh first test with flying colors. To protect the wolf pack's food from being stolen by a brown bear, the alpha wolf was seriously injured in the recent battle. The alpha female, his mate, could do nothing but gently lick his wounds, trying to ease his pain. However, the tragedy didn't end there. The young prince, who had long coveted the throne, seized the opportunity to take power. The rest of the pack, ignoring the alpha's injuries, followed the new leader and left. Out of loyalty and love, the alpha female chose to stay by her mate's side. Wolves are typically pack animals, and her choice to stay alone was extremely dangerous. As time passed, under her watchful care, the alpha wolf drew his last breath. The pair, who had been loving companions for 5 years, were now separated by death. She stayed by his side, unwilling to leave, wishing she could accompany him for just a little longer. But she also knew she couldn't stay in grief forever, because inside her, new life was growing. A legacy of her love with the alpha wolf, her responsibility. To protect their unborn children, the alpha female reluctantly left and began searching for a new territory. She climbed mountain peaks, crossed vast snowy plains, and after traveling over 1,000 kilometers in several weeks, she finally reached Mont Blanc, the tallest mountain in Europe. There, she found a hidden den and settled in. Not long after, during a thunderstorm, she gave birth to 8 wolf pups, but sadly, 2 didn't survive. Raising 6 pups alone is extremely difficult. In a pack, she could go out to hunt while others watched the pups. But now, she was completely on her own. She had to endure hunger, feed the pups, and stay alert to danger. The newborn pups nursed eagerly, but one curious pup crawled out of the den. To predators, a wolf pup is a delicacy. The alpha female sensed the danger and rushed out. Just nearby, a mother chamois also noticed her own young were in danger. She had taken a great risk leaving the safety of her home to find food for her crying babies. The chamois offspring were also potential prey for the wolf. But for the sake of their young, both mothers seemed to reach an unspoken agreement. The chamois did not approach, and the alpha female did not attack the chamois babies. Instead, she hunted other prey just enough to survive. But soon, food in the area became scarce. She decided to move again, this time bringing all her pups with her. She led the way through grasslands, forests, and finally arrived at a lake, exhausted. The pups, dying of thirst, began drinking the water, but the mother wolf sensed something was wrong. There were scent markings left by another wolf pack. They had entered another pack's territory, a dangerous situation in wolf society. They had to leave immediately. She led her pups in a desperate dash. As night fell, they reached the edge of a cliff. Ahead was a human town, even more dangerous for wolves. But they had no way back. Shrouded in darkness, the mother and her pups carefully and swiftly crossed through the neon-lit city. The most dangerous part of their journey, but also the final step towards safety. At dawn, they finally arrived at a wildlife sanctuary. After walking over 1,000 kilometers alone before giving birth, she now led her pups across another 300 kilometers. And all the pups survived. This was one of the most extraordinary feats in the history of wolves. Standing atop the mountain, she let out a long, mournful howl. Perhaps as a tribute to her fallen mate. In the end, she didn't let him down. Always protected at the center of the herd. In May 2021, a group of wild elephants fearlessly stepped into a human city for the first time. However, the bustling noise and unfamiliar environment posed a major challenge for them. At the same time, given their massive size, any potential conflict with humans could lead to unimaginable consequences. To mitigate the risks and reduce human-elephant conflict, the local government quickly launched emergency response measures, guiding the elephants out of densely populated urban areas. During their migration, the elephants ate continuously as they walked, consuming tons of fruits and grains along the way. Yet, instead of anger or fear, people showed the elephants extraordinary patience and indulgent tolerance. As the herd continued migrating north, the authorities realized they needed to intervene more actively. Possibly due to a lack of migratory awareness. The elephants believed that the north held an ideal habitat for them. But times had changed. The northern regions no longer had forests suitable for their survival. So, government staff carefully planned a solution. They used the fragrance of fruits like green corn, pineapples, and bananas to lure the elephants, designating a safe path for them to follow. Roads leading to towns and cities were also sealed off and reinforced. Sure enough, the elephants took the correct route, eating their fill for hours along the way. With continued assistance and guidance, the elephant herd finally returned to Zishuangbana after over 500 days on the move. From March 2020 to August 2021, they journeyed from Zishuangbana, passing through Pu'er, Honghe, Yushi, and Kunming, among other places. Along the way, the elephants were involved in 412 incidents, damaging 842 households' crops, with estimated economic losses of nearly 6.8 million yuan. However, their journey could be considered both smooth and fortunate, thanks to the countless people working tirelessly behind the scenes to protect and guide them. This migration was not only the longest on record for wild Asian elephants, but also a powerful example of harmonious coexistence between humans and nature.